Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger and my friends. The Red Bull Kumite finished up this weekend, had great matches for Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, and yes, Guilty Gear Strive. And one of the most surprising things about the whole weekend was the ending of the Guilty Gear Strive tournament as Goldlewis made an appearance. Goldlewis is not a very popular character, unfortunately, and is considered definitely low tier. And him showing up in the grand finals caused a bit of a stir, and also, well, spoiler, he won the whole thing. He was only picked for the final matches, so Gobo playing Goldlewis didn't run his way through the whole tournament. He was playing Zato for the majority of the tournament, but still, it's very interesting to see, and the purpose of this video is to break down these grand finals beat for beat and tell you the story of how Goldlewis managed to win the biggest fighting game tournament in years for Guilty Gear Strive. So that all said, let's get to it. So the big story of the first two matches specifically is that of momentum, because Gobo, he kinda runs over Diaphone. I don't know if he was expecting anything or what to expect, but look at the damage this early in, right? Big plus on block, moves here with the Behemoth Typhoon, and just, that's round one. Like, that's a speed round. That's the speedrunner round, right? Going into round two, Diaphone backs off a bit, gets chased back with the drone for Goldlewis, gets the hit. Here we have the knockdown, manages to avoid with a backdash, yes, but the problems begin right about here. I do want to call out the specific tech here Gobo is using. So he's running forward, crouch, punch into the close S, right? The thing is, this normally doesn't work in and of itself. He's using the momentum of the run to carry the crouch punch forward, which leaves him just a little bit closer than he otherwise would be because of the momentum. That's what allows him to get the close S. And then you're going to see a lot of this, the big overhead swing Typhoon, the 4-8-6-1. So if it hits, well, it's combo time, and if not, it's horrifically plus on block. And basically, he uses it a lot, and it has to be challenged, otherwise it's always going to be Goldlewis's turn. And from the big overhead swing, we get our combo potential, drone for the pressure and setup, and well, it's wall break time again. You can see Goldlewis here going for the speed boosted BRC, trying to go for a very tricky mix-up. However, Burst avoids that. And the thing is here, well, then we have IRC, and there's no real health left to block, and well, that's the end of that game. And here on Gobo Cam, you can see he was very pleased with how game one turned out. If you haven't seen it on Twitter already, there's a million memes, Gobo's various reactions, because he was definitely energetic during this set. Beginning of game two, common mistake against Goldlewis, trying to backdash or jump out against him. The thing is here, the 6-8-4 Typhoon, the one goes forward to up to back, it catches backdashes, it catches jump backs very easily. So if you're not committed and you're trying to run away at the start, this move will crush you out of the gate. That gives true hard knockdown, so free pressure, tries the burst, and the burst, well, catching a burst with Goldlewis usually means this kind of damage, so don't do a bad burst against Goldlewis. Here you see another 6-8-4 Typhoon completely whiffs, which is very dangerous, so he RC cancels to get back in, and the new and improved crouching punch, which is now faster than it used to be, to check a lot of Ino's air pressure. Goldlewis honestly doesn't have great options, but it's a decent one. And then, as you can see again, the overhead swing Typhoon, unchallenged, so big plus frames. Using those plus frames to basically bully his way back in, and that's all she wrote. The problem here, Goldlewis definitely outranges Ino for a lot of this stuff. Round open trade, which is fine for Goldlewis, as Goldlewis pretty much wins most trades pretty easily. And then going next up here, another throw, very important to set up the pressure. Pressure option here is a cross-up attempt. So jump heavy slash, and then going into the 4-8-6 Typhoon, which hits beginning, even though it's the big overhead swing, the beginning part does hit behind him, making this a valid 2-hit combo. So even though, yes, Goldlewis is a big bruiser character, he does have a lot of mix potential. This is just one example of it. And to close out this round, Behemoth Typhoon low, blue Roman cancel to get a nice juicy combo, and well, that's about it. Ino is a lower health character, and Goldlewis is a high damage character. So when these things happen, and there you go, see Lord Gobo making his faces again, mix those two together, can create some very short rounds for sure. However, this bout of unfamiliarity with the character, perhaps, definitely this is where Diaphone starts waking up. And the free ride is definitely over for Gobo with his Goldlewis. One of the aspects of this matchup is both characters have very poor defense, so it's very easy for one character to just run over the other one. And as you can see here, Goldlewis just getting mixed to death, pressure to death, and there's not much he can do about it. So this matchup is very much a who can just swing first, who can swing hardest kind of deal, because the other character can't really put up much of a fight with their lack of defense. Now, there's more life here in Goldlewis after getting completely steamrolled the first round. Thing is, Diphone's defense on par, blocking the cross-up very good, not falling for those shenanigans. Keeping up the pressure, does take a hit, although this is not one of the bigger hits, but getting mixed right there. But the thing is, on the Goldlewis end, nothing too concrete, and this is where it begins falling apart. Guessing wrong, getting hit by the overhead, going for a panic reversal, does not work, gets big punish, gets put in the corner, a quick kick to restand the opponent to force the pressure again, and then just blendered against the wall. Once again, this is one of the more interesting aspects of the match because neither character can really defend themselves well against the other one. So whoever has the momentum is the one taking home the W. Going on to the next game, Ino jumps back again, although this time Goldlewis just goes for a standing slash. So Ino gets out of jail for free, basically, going for an aerial attack. After Typhoon's blocked, going for 6P into Heavy Stroke the Big Tree, which would steal a turn, although Goldlewis ready for that and has the throw on lock. Post throw, no mix, just the 268 Behemoth catches with the counter hit, big combo, whiffs the burst, and as we went over earlier, don't whiff the burst against Goldlewis or, well, that's the round. Goldlewis's damage is simply too high, you can't afford to whiff. Early on in the next round, Goldlewis just gets mixed, there's no dealing with the pressure, so here, burst, just get off me, I can't deal with this stuff. Next up, I believe, is an input error, because this crouch punch into 6P, but it's a telling thing of the match, that you don't really see 6P. Goldlewis has, I would say, the worst 6P in the game, more than likely, but thanks to the recent balance patch and the buffs to his crouching punch, that is kind of the go-to defensive move against Ino's offense. As the move is faster than it ever used to be, the hitbox is pretty decent, as far as being a little bit disjointed. And Ino, well, she's going to be in the air a lot at a low angle, and this is basically the best way Goldlewis can defend himself is by judicious use of the crouching punch, as you'll see a lot in the entirety of the matchup. However, from that point, eating Stroke the Big Tree, just getting knocked down, can't deal with the pressure, can't deal with the mix, and wall break. Now, Diaphone here uses the super to get the true hard knockdown, which is absolutely smart. Goldlewis has bad defense, get the true hard knockdown. To defend himself, however, you see a backdash into a blue Roman cancel backwards. So Goldlewis is tied for most amount of invincibility frames on the backdash, and the BRC puts him back even further. Like he's effectively, to use a Street Fighter V term, he's V-shifting his way out for half his meter, trying to make himself as safe as possible in a really bad situation. At which point, going for a little bit of a poke war, just trying to get some stray hits, and Goldlewis does get stray hits. However, the health is too low. The next hit from Ino will be it, and Diaphone gets the next hit, and that's the end of this round. Into the last round of the game, both players going for some offense pretty quick on. Diaphone gets a hit, although unfortunately drops the combo, but gets the mix-up anyways, leading to the corner, bursting out, because don't want to deal with that stuff. Goldlewis making use of the Air Typhoon buffs, getting a cross-up that normally most people wouldn't expect. From the hard knockdown and forcing some pressure, catching the big overhead swing Typhoon into big damage, getting the corner. However, you can see one of the aspects of the nerfs, as Goldlewis very heavily affected by the faultless defense changes. Normally that would have hit pre-patch, but now he has to use PRC just to make himself safe. So that's the situation that's bad for Goldlewis that was alright before. Though, still manages to get the hit. Once again, Ino built like a piece of glass, and Goldlewis has got the biggest hammer in town, so just can't afford to take the hits. Next game, Diaphone attacks out of the gate, and very smart piece of defense here on the Goldlewis end. So blocks the initial dash and the heavy slash, and then what you see here is he actually catches the next dash up, right? Going for the mix-up temp. Now, is that mind reading? Well, no, not really. It's actually a pretty safe setup. So what he's doing here is crouch punch delayed. So if Diaphone attacked immediately after the fact, after the jump in, with a delayed punch, he would have just blocked the next move. It wouldn't have come out. and if he went airborne again with the slight delay of the punch, then it does come out. So basically, it's a bit of a defensive option select. Hardly foolproof, and there's a million ways around it, but in this exact scenario, it works out just fine. Goldlewis gets the damage and gets the hard knockdown. A raw jumping Typhoon is next, which sometimes isn't the safest, so raw burst, but well, that doesn't work out, and get knocked down into Mixed City. And once again, Goldlewis, no real defensive option, same as Eno, honestly. So once the blender begins, it is a rough go because you just gotta ride the storm. That said, Eno gets pushed out, and then throw into the corner begins the pressure for Goldlewis, and now on the flip, Eno can't really defend herself either. Eventually hits the button, gets smacked there, and it's basically a tale of who's throwing who into the corner and getting the advantage. Although Eno does eventually get the wall break. No commit from Eno off the gate here. Goldlewis uses the drone to move forward, although Miss Space gets hit. That is the end of the round. Next round begins with some solid neutral here. Both players trying to keep it spaced out. Space big tree, space crouch like kick and Typhoon. Right here, Eno makes a bit of a mistake. Full screen low fireball because Goldlewis doesn't get threatened by that. He's big and he's fat, yes, but if it's on the ground, he doesn't have to respect it and can easily jump over it versus a more mid to high angle. And from that gets the hit, keeps the pressure going. The 8-4-2 Typhoon, the low one, does grant a natural combo. You don't need counter hit or anything. Uses the 2-6-8 Typhoon instead of the 6-8-4 one because I'm assuming that he would just rather get the character to the corner rather than the better quote-unquote Oki, which turns out is the exact right choice because he wins the round because of it. So sometimes the mathematically better option isn't actually the right answer all the time. Big counter hit early on from Jump D because Jump D is one of Goldlewis's best moves. Bit of a mistake on the Eno end, although they've never really known it, is right there getting hit by the cross-up. Yes, that sucks. You get hit by the cross-up. No one wants to get hit by the cross-up, but if Goldlewis jumps like he has here and does the cross-up jump heavy slash ascending, if Eno just remained crouching, that would have 100% whiffed. So Typhoon tried to block it, blocked incorrectly, got hit by the cross-up, but if he remained crouching, that would have whiffed, the special cancel would have never come out, and he could have done whatever he wanted. Against more slender characters, you have to delay the jump heavy slash, which makes it a lot more reactable. If they just remain crouching, it'll just actually never hit. So the more you know on that one. After the cross-up, he gets the throw, gets the pressure again, choosing just to use the plus on block, and right here is fantastic, as the overhead swing finally gets challenged. So the thing is, it's big and slow startup, and you can challenge it. You don't have to sit there and block it, because if you sit there and block it, well, you lost your turn. It absolutely behooves you to challenge Goldlewis on his BS when he does that too many times. Now, unfortunately, it's not the biggest punish, but still, it was great. From here, goes for a Typhoon, and just a raw throw, perhaps a little scared. And now Goldlewis is going to fall for the Goldlewis trap of the minigun, because the minigun never works against airborne characters. They'll always get you beat up pretty bad. And from here, this begins the blender. Once again, Goldlewis, he can't really defend himself so good in these kind of situations, and Typhoon is just absolutely walking all over Gobu in this situation. Keeps him on the wall, because the wall break won't kill at this point. Get a little bit more damage in before you reset, and now he's one hit away from death. And, well, there's the hit. Going into the next game, both players are giving each other a lot more respect than they were in the earlier games. So dive kick, follow up, immediately block, crouch punch, Behemoth Typhoon, and then they're both like, nah, we're both backing away. Everyone swung for the fences so much, they're just basically giving each other a little bit more respect now. Although, all things equal, the slower pace definitely helps Goldlewis more than it will help Eno. Now, again, minigun, no, not against Eno. She's too airborne. It's always going to get you beat up for the most part. And pretty much like every other time Eno has Goldlewis against the wall, that means wall break. That means big damage. Again with backdash BRC, as you can see here, because that's basically Goldlewis's best defensive option. And here's where the steamroller starts picking up gas. So plus frames, gets the knockdown. Long block string, uses purple Roman cancel to keep momentum. That time didn't block, and well, that's the round. Little bit of a ballsy start from Typhoon here. Going for Chemical Love. Chemical Love can't hit a running Goldlewis, so that's actually quite risky. Here you can see a hard call out. So Chemical Love connects, although no combo here, and just hard call out the dash. So crouch punch into Behemoth Typhoon. Hard knockdown goes in for the pressure, going for the plus on block Typhoons, stops blocking for a second, gets hit, now counter hit, and here's the big combo. Once again, the damage is the big factor in this matchup, because yeah, that was death. Like, maybe unbelievably so, but that was indeed death. Next round, final game. Once again, you really can't backdash the 684 Typhoon. It's just too active, too big. Again here, the running crouch punch, close S tech, as we went over earlier in the video. It hits, hit confirm, right? And he jumps forward because he knows the burst is coming. This jump forward lets him keep a lot closer space. And then it's a burst punish, and well, you know how that goes with Goldlewis, right? Here's a hell of a lot of damage. A BRC out of the gate just to keep pressure. Plus frames, runs up, throws because there's no throw protection after a guard crush. And from here, more BRC, more pressure. That's the round. Goldlewis just complete steamroller. Next round, iPhone with some early pressure with Eno. Managed to get the knockdown, just pressure, pressure, pressure. Stroke the big tree block. This is the shorter version. Tries to backdash out, but once again, backdash cannot save you against the 684 Typhoon. It just destroys backdashes for free. Goldlewis catches Eno a jump D into Typhoon. Lots of pressure on the wake up. 3 Typhoons in a row, though good blocks. Faultless defense to push out. Catches jump D again, no follow, but look at Eno's health in this whole sequence. So it's all chip damage. Just chip after chip after chip. No big hits, but Behemoth Typhoon does so much chip damage, it's just walking all over Eno. Now Eno does get a hit, gets a bit of a pressure, a bit of a follow-up. More pressure with the throw, but the momentum, while strong, Goldlewis successfully blocks everything here and bursts out and resets to neutral. And in this situation, it's Goldlewis's game. So minigun finally gets to hit. All it takes is one tap, and Gobo becomes the Joker and has a devious smile on his face. And that's the game, and that's the set. Goldlewis, of all characters, wins the grand finals of the Red Bull Kumite. Now, yes, once again, granted for sure, Goldlewis didn't go the distance, right? He was only a pick for the end of the game, but still, I find that was very fun and interesting. A character who's definitely considered one of the worst characters in the game, technically won the grand finals of the biggest tournament we've had in years ever since COVID started. So to me, I thought that was worthy of a breakdown. I did get to meet and talk with Gobo and iPhone backstage a little bit. Both people total class acts, totally wonderful people, great guys. This is a picture of the backstage area there. Gobo said there was no way he was switching off Goldlewis for the grand finals. He wanted to win the grand finals with Goldlewis. And for iPhone, biggest of possible ups for making it to grand finals. Daru, Eno, all the Red Bull people in the back were saying Daru was going to win this whole thing, and you definitely made a big upset there because they were not expecting you to go the distance. That all said, my friends, hey, well, I guess that's the end of the video. So is Goldlewis the best character in the game, needs to get nerfed because he won this thing? Well, no, but you can make some memes and say exactly that if you want. Otherwise, since we're at the end of the video, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Guilty Gear.